Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're going to be going over 10 weird things men do that women find attractive. So I actually did a video about this a couple months ago where I was reacting to an article about weird traits that women find attractive in men, and to be honest, the title bamboozled you, it bamboozled me, and had us all fooled, and none of the things were actually really weird at all. So I wanted to do a video of my own of some things that are actually a little bit strange, or things that maybe you wouldn't think twice about that women do find attractive. And before we get started, today's video is sponsored by Factor. Factor makes meeting your nutrition goals easier than ever by delivering fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your doorstep. Their team of gourmet chefs create each meal using only ingredients with integrity to help you feel your best all day long. Get Factor and enjoy clean eating without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door, ready in just 2 minutes, no prep, no mess. Just heat, eat, and enjoy. With 34 chef-prepared, dietitian-approved weekly options, there's always something new to try. Plus, you can round out your meal and replenish your snack supply with an assortment of 36 plus quick bites, smoothies, juices, and more satisfying add-ons. Prioritizing my health and wellness is a top priority for me. Factor saves me so much time and is my go-to lunch option when I don't feel like cooking during the day. They have so many nutritious options for keeping my fridge well stocked and offer options that make it super easy to stick to my wellness goals. It's safe to say that I'm obsessed, and I'm telling everyone I know to try it. So head to factor75.com or click the link below to use my code Courtney50 to get 50% off of your first Factor box. So the first point here is the weird things but car edition. There are a lot of things men do in the car specifically that us women just swoon over. There are a few things here worth mentioning. Right off the bat, being a good driver. I want to feel safe when I'm riding in the car with you and that you are regarding me as precious cargo. I don't want you to be speeding down the highway, racing with a guy next to you, putting me in harm's way, revving your engine. I know a lot of guys seem to think this is something that women find attractive when actually it's repellent and quite literally does the opposite. Anytime a guy revs his engine or is like racing with someone on the highway, I'm like, loser. And maybe that's judgmental, but that's just my knee-jerk reaction, and I'm being very honest when I'm telling you that. Reversing the car is something we also find attractive, which is very strange. When you have one hand on the wheel and one hand either behind my seat or on my leg, if we're well acquainted, I'm not telling you to put your hand on a stranger's leg or a girl you're meeting for the first time. You gotta make sure she likes you and we're feeling it out, right? But one hand behind the seat, one hand on the wheel, love it. As long as you can do this safely, again, being a good driver is the first thing I wanted to mention here. Pretty collectively here, I think most girls would agree we love when you have one hand on the wheel and one hand behind the seat. And again, if like I'm already your girlfriend or something, hand on my leg. Okay, my next point here is watching you fix something. Husband alert. This is one of the sexiest things that men do. Whether it's hanging a picture on the wall, fixing a computer issue, or a smoke detector that rudely wakes you out of your slumber at 1 a.m. That one hits close to home if you couldn't tell. We just love to see it. It's giving masculine. It's giving you walk into Home Depot and know exactly what you're doing, and you don't even need to ask anybody for help. We love that. One of us needs to be able to do this because it surely is not me. The next one here is that you're great with kids or a dog dad. My ovaries can hardly handle this. Most of us just absolutely melt when we see a man with kids. It just does something to us. And shows us that you would be a good father, which in this day and age is the ultimate flex. And in the dad category here, we have the beloved dog dad. Again, it shows us that you can keep something alive besides yourself, which is a great trait to have. It also makes interacting with women so dang easy. It's like having a little wingman that won't steal your girl. I'm not telling you to run out and get a dog because women will like it or it will help your dating life. You should actually want the dog and be able to properly take care of it, okay? Disclaimer here. But if you want a dog and you are thinking about getting a dog, it definitely will not hurt your love life. My next point here is saving money. And I'm sure this one threw you for a loop. It might have caught you by surprise, so let me explain. A man who is financially stable and responsible is so attractive to women, and is actually seen as more attractive to women than a guy who is a big spender. And if you don't believe me, there have been studies done about this. And this one specifically says, when someone is a saver, we assume they have general self-control. That's a desirable quality. I actually mentioned this in the sexual discipline video that I did for you guys a couple of months ago at this point. So I've already discussed this with you, and the same thing rings true here. This research indicates that many women desire a partner they can rely on and trust rather than someone who is going to be spending down a joint bank account. Another study conducted by researchers at the University of Minnesota found that owning a Porsche might get you a one-night stand, but nothing more romantically substantial. I wonder what they say about a Pagani BC. If you know, you know. If you're a man who is looking for an uncommitted short-term hookup, then it turns out that displaying expensive products may in fact be a good strategy, said Jill Sundy, PhD, an assistant professor at Virginia Tech who co-authored the study. Yes, because think about the type of women you're attracting when you're a guy who is financially responsible versus when you're a guy who's flexing on Instagram and standing next to a private jet or a Porsche. I'll let you just use your brains there. The next one is very weird, but I am part of the club. I find this incredibly sexy, and it is your hands. Me and my friends in college would legitimately sit and talk about guys' hands, if we liked them or if we didn't. Probably not the conversation you're thinking that we're having. Maybe other girls are not as weird as me and my friends were, but I'm just being honest. It is absolutely something we notice, and no discrimination here. You don't have to have perfectly soft, manicured hands in order to be considered Mr. Hot Hands. A lot of women like hands that have calluses or are a little bit rough to show that you work with your hands on the daily or you go to the gym. I will say though, trimming your nails is important and you should absolutely be doing that. And it's something about the veins in your hands. For me specifically, I like the look of that. I think it's very masculine and sexy. I was looking online to see if other girls think this too, and lo and behold, they do. And a lot of people were saying things about the veins in your hands, and specifically for me, that is what gets me. I remember when I first started dating my fiance, and even in his profile pictures on the dating app where I met him, his hands looked so nice, and I could see his veins. It looked so sexy, so masculine. I understand that I probably sound like a weirdo telling you this, but I'm just being so honest and want you to hear from a woman's perspective. Hands are sexy. Point blank. Next up is no surprise, and that is gray hair. Women tend to prefer men who are a bit older than them and mature, and gray hair definitely signals that. And a lot of this just has to do with evolution and our biology as humans. Men have a much larger fertility window than women do, as we know. Plus, the older you get, the more time you've had to establish yourself and figure things out a little bit more. Financially, of course, but also mentally, and I think that's really important. These are things that are alluring to women, as we all know. So maybe don't dye those gray hairs. A little salt and pepper, we're here for it. The next one is something that I have told you guys many times before in some of my fashion videos, and that is to roll up your sleeves. Us women love when you roll those sleeves up and show us a little bit of skin. We are quite literally swooning over your forearm. And the vein thing that I mentioned with hands also applies here to forearms. We just love this. You cannot go wrong with wearing a button down and rolling up those sleeves. The next one is your smell, and that one is typically on lists like this that I'm making today, but I think people really dumb this down to a point that gives you guys the wrong impression and makes you guys think something that actually isn't true. So I'm gonna try to explain here. Maybe you're wearing a really great fragrance that makes us wanna linger a little bit longer in that hug, or maybe the way you smell is comforting and familiar. And there was a study done in regards to the key component that I think a lot of people get wrong and give you the impression that women like the smell of BO. We don't like that. This says, researchers at the University of California, Berkeley said women who sniffed a chemical found in male sweat experienced elevated levels of an important hormone along with higher sexual arousal, faster heart rate, and other effects. But guys, this does not mean that women are attracted to you being a sweaty mess and smelling like an onion. The perception of a potential partner's body odor can subconsciously help one decide if they're attracted to them or not. When you're attracted to someone, you're more likely to be drawn to their smell. Some say that we release pheromones, oxytocin, also referred to as love hormones, when there's an attraction, causing one to be drawn to someone's smell. Jennifer Stelter, psychologist and CEO of NeuroEssence at the Dementia Connection Institute, elaborates. Olfactory stimuli has a direct impact on a person's limbic system that houses the amygdala, responsible for generating emotions, and the hippocampus, responsible for forming memories. Therefore, if the stimuli is positive or is attractive to the person smelling them, then this can influence the person to feel and associate positive feelings and memories with that person. If you guys watched the video I did about birth control, actually, this can change the way that we smell people and can actually make us attracted to someone different than we would be if we were not on birth control. Very interesting. If you haven't seen that, I explained it all in that video, so definitely be sure to go give it a watch because it's super interesting. My next one here is wearing glasses. Your vision might not be 20/20, but you're a 10 out of 10 to me. It's giving Harry Potter drip, and we're here for it. I thought I might be a little bit biased here because my fiance rocks a pair of glasses and I find it super sexy. But after doing some research on this topic, I actually found that collectively, women like this. I think it can make you look studious and intelligent, which is something that I personally always notice and find really attractive in a man, and many other women do as well. And my last one here is showing your talent or skills. Think about what you're good at. Is it playing an instrument? Graphic design, photography, woodwork, whatever it may be, women love watching a man be good at something. It shows you're capable, it shows you're skilled, it shows competence, which we love to see. Have you ever seen a guy that's maybe not that physically attractive, but he gets on stage and plays an instrument and all of a sudden he's just the bee's knees? I've seen this happen time and time again with this and also with many other things. And I think really just showing that you have a skill and a talent is something that is very alluring and desirable to women. So regardless of what your skill is, regardless of what your talents are, different women will obviously find different things attractive, and it's, depends on the individual. Having skills and excelling at something is more important than just attracting women. It's also important just for yourself and being confident and, finding things you enjoy doing in your purpose and a passion, or things you enjoy doing in your free time when you're not working. So guys, that is all I have for this video. Let me know down in the comments, what are some things you do that women find attractive? What are some things you do that women don't find attractive? Would love to hear from you guys down in the comments. If you like this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.